I didn't know it was gonna be this cold in New York. I didn't bring the right clothes. What, I look like some asshole that's only interested in things with my name on it? Give me the sword. Who am I talking to? This? Hello, where have you been on? Buy, sell, buy. No, memory screen, holy. This video was the video that brought to my child eyes film and imagery that I'd never thought of, and brought me regions of America I didn't see. It's still my favorite, probably. It's, you know, this, Video Days, and the 8th Street videos are my favorite videos, and not just because I'm fucking old, it's because they're good. You guys get fed the same shit on your phone every day, and I feel like I'm lucky. You guys are lucky too, but this was some shit. I mean, we had to like, you know, not to be like that old guy, like, back in my day, we had to churn our own plastic to make our wheels. No, like the same fucking TV that you would fucking do all your like secret late night salacious activities with, you'd also be doing your like skateboard film. You'd have your one porno video, like that you kept like way away from, like there was one, it was like Robin Nodisco street skating covers. Like, don't look at that one, Mom. You don't like Rob Roscoff. Take it out and and it'd be right where you fucking were watching it last. If it ended on Petrie's part before you went to fucking school that morning, back to Petrie's, you know, the end of his part again. I mean, shit, he gets tech. I love that super basic kickflip nose wheelie of his, because you could see like, because once again, this is another one of those videos that was filmed for like a certain amount of time before it actually even got made into this product. The actuality of time when they did film it was I think about a year before it came out, and that's how that shit went back then. But I love that kickflip nose wheelie he does. I love all his footage in Louisiana.
Well, the city is a Cajun-like style.
This is the one big Petrie part. You know, there's not another. Look, child actor Gary Coleman. Let's just keep moving. Jesus, this guy. Let's take it up to Snuff at least. Oh well. Now this, Tim and Henry's Pack of Lies. Gino got this and was visiting California. We went to Black Label, the company we rode for, and we put this in the VCR. And after Henry Sanchez, we just, okay, we suck, and this is like now some other shit. You can't do this. Tim has heavy shit in this, like kickflip backside noseband slide. In this era of skateboarding, you would get hit with like a small pocket of tricks from, like with this, like Guy, Rudy, Brian Lottie, that you weren't expecting. So when you got Tim and Henry's Pack of Lies, you're all right, these guys have 2 video parts. But then Guy Morano put out, I'd say that, just those tricks of Guy, kind of, but the tricks of Guy in Tim and Henry's Pack of Lies are, like, when I saw that, I was like, yeah, I'm nowhere near that. I mean, I don't care about best. What you got hit in the face with real quick was boom, and then the video. This thing's like 7 minutes long, right?
So good. Yeah.
Henry Sanchez, Fakey 5-0, Fakey Flip, is that in this? I always think it's in this, and I don't think it is. So what is it in? Question for the kids. For $10,000, who was the guy who played Robert Mitchum?
Johnson does that switch double flip down the stairs.
He does switch nose slide, then switch double flip, and I still really think that's such a good switch double flip. Like, he did it real smooth. The nose slide guy does down the big rail, so. It's a giant, huge rail, and you're riding wheels that big. Dude, Guy was so beyond. Yeah, Tim and Henry's Pack of Lies was a video that quickly made me realize, like, you better start doing something. Dude. Wow.
Look at that shape. That's sick.
Dinosaur? I haven't seen the graphic yet. Dinosaur board?
No.
Oh my God. Wow. John Cardiel candy board. Definitely a big influence on what I currently do, what I currently make, as far as the skateboards I make. Yeah, they did a great job. Me and Gino loved riding these things. Who knows how many we rode of this board? You know what I'm fascinated by? How good it stayed. Look at the colors and shit. No, this board was epic. John got really good photos on this. I was a little child when this came out, basically. I was like 13 years old. But yeah, son of a bitch, holy shit, I can't believe you had this. This is amazing. How did this happen? Like, this shape is so crazy. I rode so many of that goddamn board.
Just kind of going back to what we just talked about.
Oh wow, son of a bitch. This is. Yeah, this is so gnarly. I almost didn't know that there was ones like this still. Do you have the only one non-skated? Do you also have the Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Yeah.
Dude!
I like that one more.
Wow! Holy shit! No, this is really epic, and like when they had done the Arnold Schwarzenegger over it, and you would slide it off. It was such a brilliant idea, and it came in a time when there wasn't a whole lot of that kind of thing back then. You know, no one was doing a board where you scratch it off, and there's another board, and like that's so cool. And like this board highly influenced lots of what I'm doing right now, and I made a Anthony Van Engelen board basically as a tribute to this thing with the fucking hologram. This is one of those ones where it's like Henry was the gnarliest dude at this time. I still think Henry did so many things that no one ever got to. He was on his own basically. The combination of like such a heavy graphic and guy time stuff. This is it.
So,
Take me to your dealer. Was I? Yeah, of course. I loved it all. I loved all 8th Street World shit. 8th Street World was like my favorite shit. All the world companies. You know, this is before I was in the big Golden Palace. This is before I got into World Industries. Like, meaning like, this is before I rode for 101. So this is me looking like, oh my God, those guys are cool. I'm not, this is like the biggest, coolest shit. But like when I was a kid and I saw this, it's like, yeah, I want, if I could ever have a board or anything close to this, I'd be so hyped. And all it was just stealing from mainstream culture, but it doesn't matter. Because back then it was some other shit to us. Like we thought that they did such a good job with it. Sean Cliver? Bing! Oh boy, what do we got next? I don't know what you want me to do with this. Yes, this is the out of the series of the blind boards that were making fun of Powell boards, where they did the shape of the board printed around. This was Mark's, right?
Yeah.
Mark got the skull with the banana. Oh yeah, Mark Gonzalez, of course. I mean, but I don't look at this and think Mark Gonzalez immediately. No. I think of that time period, and I think Mark would think the same thing.
What?
If you showed this to Mark, he wouldn't think me. You know what I mean? He'd be like, oh, what's that? Powell. That's what he'd say. He'd be like, oh, Powell, George Powell. You know what I mean? He wouldn't think him. Like if it was his fucking vision board, you know. That was my second board, I think, was his vision board. You don't have something better for me to talk about Mark with? It looks like one of those things you win at the fair. You know, you throw the darts at the thing, you win like Van Halen, you know, like the glass mirror, scorpions. No, it's super cool. But it doesn't yell out Mark Gonzalez to me. Just looking at the boards in the magazine was the thing to me when they'd be like, be like, oh, what is that?
There you go.
Oh. Hey, Spitfire video, 1993. I think that was summer in San Francisco. I was 15 years old. Yeah, to this day, the lineup of people in this and the fact that I get to be in this video is pretty crazy. There's really gnarly people in this at a very early time in their careers, and I was such a little kid and like getting to be at Embarcadero with those guys, and getting the privilege of like be able to skate with like a lot of those gnarly guys at Embarcadero, and like you could see it in the footage. Like I push like across the whole fucking place because I'm just so excited. But the thing is, back then it's like we have 3 days to film you, so you'd be like, shit, fuck, I better land some shit. So you're like, no hill flip, no side, oh god. Oh yeah. I thought you were talking about Spitfire. I'm like, Spitfire wasn't anybody. There was no one person. I think one of the things that was a bit before this took place in 1993, when I was like a little child. My mom drove me up to San Francisco and basically dropped me off at an EMB. I still can't believe that kind of shit. Like, get out, pick you up at 7. And since you're at EMB with bums and all them, and I got to see like all those dudes then, and I remember Kelt coming up to me then and being sweet to me, remaining to be sweet to me all these years. I think I came with a bit of like, oh my God, you guys are you guys. Like I already knew, so I was like, but then like also like, I wasn't trying to like jump in and like, I wrote for Blockhead. I knew that was some San Diego shit. Not taking anything away from Blockhead, but there was nothing in me that was like, all right, pretty good. Show you what I got for the bricks. A lot of like just kicking it, kind of like watching. Like I remember seeing Carroll skate there on his first H Street board. The only H Street board, actually. That's the only one of his graphics that ever came out for H Street, was the mac and cheese Calvin Hobbes, correct? And I believe it might have been the first time he ever skated at that board. I think I talked to Carroll and he said that probably was his first time he skated at that board. Because I didn't know him back then. I was, just watching them. Yeah, EMB, man. Some shit. Everything of cardio, everything of him at that time is just like, show! Sean Young.
Is that a far away camera?
Goddamn Coco Santiago, he did that line with an ollie flip on the bank, right? Oh, Julian, of course. Dude, this video rules. First contest I ever skated was Newburgh, New York. Yeah, the first contest I ever skated was Newburgh, New York, and what year is that? 1996?
Fuck.
95.
Oh, my mother drove me down there.
95. So 1995, Coco Santiago won the contest, but that weekend I met you.
Yeah, but like you met me like on
some, but on like kid shit.
I got taken to the contest by my mother, and she was out in the car. I went out to check on her, like, hey, are you all right? It's been like fucking 2 hours I've been in there. She's been sitting on the car listening to music. And as I'm going back in, I open the door, and right as I open the door, this dude's coming out at the same time. And I remember being like, what's up? And he was like, what's up? He wasn't a dick or anything. He was just like, what's up, man? Like, whatever. And went in, I just remember being like, damn, that's Jason Dill, he's cool as shit. Fast forward fucking 6 years later, 7 years later, I'm fucking at his house on Canal Street filming him.
Ain't that crazy?
That's so crazy.
It feels like
Really?
like my first contest to like living here in New York and filming with you. There's 4 years later. You gotta be
That's
shitting
weird.
me. But it's like 4 or 5. Yeah, right in the Bill Dill timeline trajectory.
So it's true, as you get older, years go by a lot faster.
God damn it.
They're fucking flying.
You do more, so you forget how fast it's going.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Take this.
I mean, Oh, Jesus. I was like, well, 8th Street Lick, I mean, it's not exactly hocus pocus. What the fuck's he handing me this for? This is 101 Snuff. Came out in 1994, I believe, maybe the end of 93, I cannot remember. Snuff was a full-blown video part. The Spitfire wasn't like a video part. This is like something where they were like, film more. And then I'd show them my footage and they'd say, film more. There's a big story of how this all happened as far as us getting on 101. Gino Iannucci and I, originally we were gonna do a company with World Industries with Brian Lottie. We were filming kind of just to take that idea further. The company didn't happen. Brian went off to be a Buddhist monk in Hawaii, I believe, and then he left the footage with Nadas Kappas, and Gino got a call from Nadas, and Nadas asked if we wanted to ride for 101. We met Nadas at the Back to the City contest up in San Francisco to talk to him about it, and I think we met him at like a Subway sandwich shop. We found out right then that everybody quit to ride for Girl. And it was almost like, do you still want to do it? And we were like, yeah, fucking, that's fine. What I'm saying is the footage filmed in this, we weren't really on 101. Like there's footage at the end, like of the filming for this that we are on the team. This was us kind of like trying to get on. That was crazy back then. Like you'd film and then you'd show your footage to Rodney, and Rodney would like critique it. And he'd be like, we could do it on some higher. He would say that about then. He'd be like fucking 16 or 15 years old filming for Snuff. And he'd be like, do you think you could do it on like a longer manual pad? Like, man, no, I ain't you. But then Gino showed his footage to Rodney, and Rodney'd be like, oh, it's so great. It's all so great. It's just, I can't say enough. Yeah. You have to filming parts with Gino was gnarly. Like, it was so insane to watch him do what he did and be like, okay, here I go.
Even during Trilogy?
Fuck yeah, the highest of it during Trilogy. Trilogy was when I was most shook by Gino's shit. Watch his part in that.
So good.
He starts out the part with a kung fu trick. God, that hard flip. It's just, he hard flips from here to out the door. Gino's part in Trilogy's fun. But Snuff, I really love this video. I'm really proud to be in this video. I got to use Bretton Wood. Every video part I've ever had, unless I'm sharing it with Gino, I pick the music. And I've never skated a rap.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's weird. I've never picked it for myself. I don't know. I know heel flip in the Spitfire video, and then Ben Liversidge, as a guest trick in my part, does the fakey heel flip.
Fakey. Ben Liversidge, fakey.
No, yeah, kind of. Yeah, no, Ben was great. I loved Ben. He was my buddy back then.
Yeah.
Wherever you are, Ben. The only one I've ever done in my whole entire life. I swear. You know that. This guy knows me.
Yeah.
He knows what I'm capable of and not capable of.
One of the habitat demo. Maybe just to see if you could do it.
On flat, like maybe. I've never landed a switch tray flip. I've never.
I feel like back then you just learned that day. Oh, I just can do this, I think.
Oh, back then I was at, back then being that age filming for Snuff. I remember that day. I remember Gino was trying the line where he's the greatest tray flip in that line.
Half cab nose slide.
And then but he has back tail and then the back heel. So he was trying that, but I just remember being like I remember being there for a while and being like, you have to fucking do this because you're gonna get kicked out. You're on the edge, they're coming down. Because we got way too long. But that was what was great about SF back then, is like, you could just go try somewhere and you'd get some time. When you're young like that and you feel that like ill pressure and you're a teenager and all this shit, and it's like, I want to be the guy too. And you're just like, oh no, come on. And it's like, if you watch that line, Dave Slosbeck filmed that line, you can hear it. Dave goes, yes. Because I fucking slammed on it like 3 times with your weak ass little fucking pubic pop, because you're all young. So just like, yeah. Not Snuff, man. Like, I'm proud of this video.
Is there a name for the company you guys are gonna do with Lottie?
Yeah, it's called Go Fuck Yourself Skateboard.
Oh, dude,
No, just kidding. It was
good.
called it was called Program.
Really?
Program. So like Pro-Am. How dumb is that? How 90s is that? Yeah, Program. Program is such a 90s skate name. You can just see it in like stupid font.
Talking, you don't want me, don't leave me on, girl. But if you need me, show me that you love me. And when I'm feeling down, wearing a frown, you be there when I look around. And just give me some kind of sign, girl. Oh, my baby, to show me that you're mine, girl. All right. Just give me some kind of sign, girl. Oh, my baby, to show me that you're mine, girl. All right. But just give me some kind of sign, girl. Oh, my baby, to show me that you're mine, girl. Oh, yeah. Just give me some kind of sign, girl. Oh, my darling, to show me that you're mine, girl. All right. Just give me some kind of sign. Just give me some kind of sign, girl.
Oh boy.
I know. I tried to get this off him. I DM'd you. I DM'd this dude like fucking 2 years ago. I'm like, dude, would you trade anything for that board? I'll give it to you. He didn't even write back.
I wrote you back, man.
I don't think he wrote back. I think it just said scene. I was like, all right.
The term DM is always gonna sound like something sexual to me, and I'm still not used to it.
Yeah.
It's always gonna mean like, ooh,
Because that's what dude.
A to M?
They DM chicks.
A to M, FF DM.
That board is up your fucking.
Oh, hey,
alley.
so I had one pro model come out before this, but I didn't really like it. Then I asked if I could have Winnie the Pooh. Nada said, you are aware of what Steve's done with Winnie the Pooh. And I was like, yes, but I want more like the A.A. Milne, like the storybook Winnie the Pooh. Like most of the shit when I was young, Nada entertained my child brain and let me do it. I gotta give Nodis a lot of credit for being really patient with me, I suppose. Because, you know, I was a little kid. It's like, what do you want for your board? I mean, for God's sakes, I had my One Graphics Delicious Vinyl. Whew. Like, you know, I came up with that. You know, I came up with all these, and I think they're, you know, most of my one-on-one boards are pretty fucking stupid. This one, though, is really close to my heart. I love this board so much. I love all the colors and everything, and Martin McKee. And down to even, I believe I was like, can we do this on top with, like, him, like, you know, playing out his little theatrics, and like, I don't know, like Winnie the Pooh means a whole lot to me. I know he's owned by like Disney and all that stuff. Winnie the Pooh's the one that they've never really, because I grew up having the books when I was a kid, like the A.A. Milne books, and like having all the drawings and all that stuff, and I really liked like the sketchiness of like the drawings, and then, because I wasn't watching them on TV, you know what I mean? It was more of like that kind of like the English sort of Winnie the Pooh. And then, you know, thinking about it, like over time, like, you know, they never fuck with Pooh too bad. Like, oh, here comes rapping Pooh. You know, like they've done that with Mickey and like Goofy and everybody. It's like, you know, they got fucking Disco Duck and all that shit. But I love Donald Duck, actually. Like, I'm actually a lot like Donald Duck. It's too bad. So if you took a photo of me holding that board, I sent it to my mom and started crying. Back then, I didn't give a shit. Back then, it was just world. You didn't care. Now I'm so fucking particular. Who got that? Who did that? And how did you get that? Because I've seen a picture, I've seen a photo of this, and I wondered, how did you get this?
I got it off Mark. That's the original drawing.
Wow. Yeah. No, this is really cool, man. Like, son of a bitch. Wow. No, it's so cool to see it like before it got colored in and whatnot. No, this is absolutely fantastic. No, I can't believe you have this. This is great. It's really nice. I almost wish it wasn't hot dog shaped. You know what I mean? I almost wish it wasn't hot dog shaped. I wish it was square, you know? But I mean, whatever. But it's fucking great. This is so sick. I loved watching, man. I would watch them for fucking, when I rode for 101, one of the best parts about it was getting to watch people like Sean Cliver and Mark McKee and Nodis, Jeff Tremaine put together everything from Big Brother to the graphics. Like I remember walking in watching, I believe it was Mark McKee doing the babies, Adam McNabb board.
That was Climber.
It's brilliant. Yeah, I really got to watch, and Nodis like let me help edit a bit, 20-shot sequence intro, and like I learned so much from being there and watching. I really appreciate Mark saying like that I used to come in there and watch, because I felt like, yeah, I'd do that, but I was annoying them. So I was like 15, 16-year-old kid, like, what are you guys doing? What's up? What's happening? What's that? How you do that? What's that? How'd you make that color? How'd you do that? How'd you do that? Just like fucking like a little child asking a million questions. The Winnie the Pooh. The Winnie the Pooh, and then after that, I had this one that I came up with from this, I fucking honestly can't remember it, but it was this book I read when I was young. It was like a silhouette of a kid on a bike riding like that, and it had a line through it, and then it had my name like that way. It was like a take on Polo almost, but like it was a kid on a bike instead of a horse thing. But I never see that board. You know, sometimes some of them boards, I think they only made like 100 sometimes, because like in certain time periods of like all the one-on-one, like no one had no money, man. Like no one had no money. Like I'm talking about like people in America, like people weren't buying shit. They say, not like these days, man. Like I've never seen that bike board like out in the wild or whatever since the old days. I mean, for God's sakes, Gino had a one-on-one graphic fucking of a kid licking a tree. It was so corny. Gino hated that. You know, I remember Gino was like, what the fuck, why is this kid licking this tree? Wow, this is cool.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
This is funny. They would ask me what I want, yeah, and now looking back, you know, besides like this, looking back, I wish I would have just let them do whatever. Maybe I would have ended up with the babies graphic instead of Adam, you know? Adam got good ones, man. The fucking Charles Manson one still is the fucking sickest.
That's a fucking crazy one. Thank you, Jason.
Yeah. Oh, you don't have the kitty cat? I don't have it either. My mother has boards still, and they're in these boxes, but she doesn't have that one. We have a lot of my old boards, but not that one. Geno Panther board's pretty incredible. I love this board. I don't know how this came about. I don't know who thought of it, but someone thought of with Nodis, you know, owning 101. Somebody said, how about we do the boards for the three of them, but they're your old graphics. Nodis seemed to be into it. And so yeah, of course, Geno, you got the OG Panther. Clyde got the like super sketchy cat, and then I got the little baby kitten. Yeah, really cool. I love this board. And then I made a board for fucking awesome for Geno of this graphic, but just like super photocopied, like Xerox. I thought it came out really great. NHS, Santa Cruz, they called and they said, please stop doing the Nodis graphic. And I understand, like I get it. It's like Jim fucking Phillips, right? You know, so it's like, sorry, we just thought, fuck it. You know, we were all 101 together and do this, but whatever. So if you have the FA board, we didn't make all that many of them, you know. I mean, actually, yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. We made it, compared to back then, fuck yeah, we did. Nowadays, you make a lot more boards, you know. Trilogy part, it explodes right at the very beginning. Kaboosh, that fucking hard flip. That line he does at the top of Wallenberg in 20 shot that ends with the nollie back 180 fake manual, and then the line he does do at Wallenberg with a normal, just regular kickflip. You never see like the normal regular kickflip out of Geno, and it's so perfect. I love that line. I honestly met Geno so long ago, I don't remember. Oh, this board's sick though. This is sick. This is great. This is great. Wow. This is wild. I haven't seen this one in a long time. I remember this board.
Remember that one?
Yeah. Keenan. Yeah. The thing is with Keenan, it's how funny he was. Like everything was so funny. Just the little terms and like things that he would pick up on about you or anyone else, and the little funny names he would give it. He was so endlessly interesting. The kid's music taste went from Morrissey to like fucking all the way around to like just, he would have these CD carrying cases that were huge, full of CDs. Like Keenan just missed the iPod. God, he would have loved the iPod. He would have loved all this new shit. Keenan he's really like, you know, he's real bright life. Like, exciting person to be around when I was young. I'm in the background of the switch flip. You see me. I go put my board down. Like as I'm watching him, I run and put my board down. I was there for all the shit in person. Like a lot of that stuff I was there for in person. So I don't really think about it that way, you know what I mean? Like, you know, that time period was very interesting. Like Paulo would just switch Ollie the table. And it was a stereo ad in the magazine. And that was psycho. We were all like, no, he switched Ollie the table, that's crazy. Not too long after, it might have been a year and a half, but still Keenan did it. And it was like, damn, that was... Side note, he was coming real close to switch heel. He was coming very close to switch heel within those like 3 days of the switch flip landing. Because I know he was trying to switch heel, he came close, and then started trying to switch flip, and I think he came back the next day and finally got the switch flip. But yeah, he's got those white Jason Lee shoes on with the Airwalk J Lee shoes with the black laces and the gum soles. And I guarantee you I guarantee you they were Jason Lee Airwalks. Because we were going like Menace 101 tours. Like I remember that tour, going on that tour, like at one point I was skating in Tonics, and then another point I was skating in like Airwalk gym shoes or some shit. You know what I mean? Like we used to fuck with Airwalks. Airwalks were sick. Like,
Yeah, the teddy bear ones, the brown ones.
and then even when Jason Lee made the one, like it was sick. And the ones that Jordan Rick used to skate in, the fucking corduroy and all that stuff. And like, oh yeah, the Sorries and all that. Yeah. Airwalk had the run way beyond the Enigma, all that shit. Airwalk's blowing it. You guys could have totally revamped your deal, but you're probably just some weird Euro brand now or some shit.
Real quick hits.
This video, I hurt my knee. I snapped my ACL while everybody was filming for this, so I only have that line. I think it's just a line and a couple tricks.
I got a job with the mob making G's, doing some pickups, deliveries, and transport keys. Yeah, they got me like a flunky money. I'm driving up my town with 10 kilos inside my trunk, G. And I'm holding a suitcase with $500,000 on my lap in front of my face. And I'm trying.
And then Gino's got that really great part. There's a bunch of shit in this video. This video's like an hour long. This video's insane. LeVar's part is about 30% of the video. The video's long and there's a lot of shit in this, and then there's a Prime section.
That's what I was just gonna bring. I was like, dude, the goddamn Prime section comes on, it's just all white.
You can leave it at that. No, it just broke. I was little though back then, real skinny. I never broke boards. That was like, oh no, what am I talking about? I went on this crazy run of breaking noses off boards that I totally forgot about. I would fakie flip a lot. I remember filming that line at Embarcadero with the fakie flip that's in Snuff, and I do that really gross switchback 180. And I land like that. And I don't know why I did that kind of stuff. I don't know why I held.
You did that on the switch heel flip, switch nose wheel too.
I did that on switch heel flip, switch nose wheel. I feel like, I don't know, I think I was just, when I was a kid, like in the 90s, being 16, 15, 14 in the 90s, and being surrounded by a lot of people that are cool and are trying to be cool, you're just trying to hang on. You know, if I could make fun of myself a little bit in front of them, don't take yourselves too fucking seriously. Because if you do, you'll look like a kook or something like that. So like if there's like a little thing you could do to like dork off, trying something really hard too, like I'm sure it took me like fucking an hour and a half to do that. It was that, and then there's also just that natural fucking swing of the arm shit that I still catch myself doing the thing. I don't know what it is, I don't know why it makes me land like that, but I still at fucking my old ass age, I still feel like I still do that kind of like hold thing. Richard had it too. Gino. I remember I watched it before Gino watched it, because I was in California, so I got to watch it. It's way before computers. And he goes, tell me this. When he says, I'm out of here as soon as I hit Kennedy Airport, am I on the screen? I said, yeah. He goes, oh, good. And that's all he asked me.
I'm out of here soon as I hit Kennedy Airport. Loaded the for automatic. I don't believe it. Some like a shit duck.
I swear to God, that's all he asked me about what I thought of the video. Gino has no ego, like you know him, like the man has no ego whatsoever, but like that's what he asked about. Gino wasn't one to sit and like, let's just talk about skate shit. Oh no, I'm having a great time, it's cool. Oh wow. Trilogy, for the man who has everything. Trilogy.
Well, I could clip it to the blankie.
No, that's cool, I got it. Just let me find the thing. Do you like the outdoors? Do you like camping? Come on down to our showroom. We'll show you many different RVs and trailers and campers we have in store for all your family needs. Trilogy Trilogy is a good video. I'm 18 here, and I feel like this was the first time that my yeah. Bill just said off camera when your balls dropped, and it's like, no, yeah, it's like, yeah, I was like 18 and I got like, it's like when I first felt my like power and shit. Like I felt like I could like nollie really high. I was in my window, you know, it was the beginning of being in your window, and yeah, I tried really hard for this video. I'm pretty proud of how it came out. The one-on-one part in this video was supposed to be the one-on-one video that came out by itself. Originally, it was supposed to be, that's gonna fall. The one-on-one part was supposed to be just a video itself. Like, we didn't know it was gonna be all jammed together. I'm pretty sure it was Kareem's idea. You know that's gonna blow away. I believe it was Kareem's idea to put all the videos together, and I think he came up with the wheels and everything. Like the whole thing. Yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind at all because, you know, like it's a good video. People seem to like it. I can't stand any way that just makes me feel funny. I think me and Gino, of course, we wanted more of like a Tim and Henry video. Like, not that it'd be about me and him, but like, who else saw one-on-one in that? Oh my God, Marcus's parts were so fucking good in that. Heel flip 50-50 hubba hideout, back tail hubba hideout, and he does a back like crooked 5-0 down hubba that is phenomenal. Marcus, still to this day, one of my favorite styles of all time. The man doesn't age. He's still so fucking epic looking. I saw Marcus like a couple years ago and was like, Jesus Christ, you make me feel old as fuck. Wow. Yeah, he looked great. Marcus, such great style. That fucking heel flip, man. And then Marcus went on to stay with World and put out a whole lot of footage. Marcus did all that shit at Pier 7. Like, Marcus switched trade the fucking block at Pier 7, for God fucking sakes. That was insane. Marcus ruled. I was really glad that Marcus got on the team with us and shit. Originally, I wanted to do an eliminated switch backside 5-0, and I was originally trying that. You know why I tried that? And the way I got into doing that is because of how crazy Lenny went there. Lenny just went in on Hubba and did such crazy shit at Hubba Hideout that, like, and Josh with the switchback tail slide, and people were starting to do such good shit there that it was like, wow, like, whatever you do now, it's really got to be different than, like, there's people who are really stepping up. I tried not only to switch backside 5-0 and I died. So fucking broke. So I was like, okay, that's not happening. Let's see if we can just put the both trucks on and right away fake you. Goddamn Theo hand. Why are you laying there? What's wrong with you? None. 1, 2. Heel flip over the grate at Flushing and switch backside flip at Lockwood over a single bank. I still don't flip my board. Bitch. I don't know why I wasn't flipping my board much back then. I was so nolly. And that was all Salman Aga, Paulo Diaz influence, like being all nollied out and stuff. Back then, you know, it was like people weren't flipping in and out of everything. So it was like if you did like a switch basic trick anywhere, it was like, it was hard. You know, you switch back to 5-0 handrail, someone's like, God damn, you switch back to 5-0 handrail, you know? Nowadays, it's like, switch heel flip, switch back Smith the handrail to switch shove it heel out. Yeah. In his last part, I think Kareem's part in that video is like a video. I think yeah, Kareem's part in Trilogy is a video in itself. For God's sakes, he fucking does a tray flip 5-0 on a fucking table. It's all mixing together now. But anyway, Kareem's got an amazing part in Trilogy. There's so much shit in that video. I love our 101 section. Gino's part's amazing. Marcus, yeah. That's all Nodis. It's all Nodis. Use that clash shit. And, oh.
Technical difficulties.
Sorry, I got cold and I had to get my shawl. Obi-Wan stoned be. Obi-Wan, how stoned can you be? Obi-Wan Castrucci. Let's keep it moving. We haven't even touched Alien Workshop. I do skate to Stevie Wonder in Trilogy though, Tim. That is Stevie Wonder. This is 19 years old at a park in Long Beach, California with Dmitry Eliaskovich. And I was super into my drawers shirt and Fila's, because the drawer shirt has the exact colors of the Fila's. So it's like navy writing with like a little, like, I think there's like a red like thing in the D. And I was hyped on how that all matched. And I'm wearing North Face pants. And I remember buying those pants for like $60 and being like, damn, I spent fucking $60 on North Face pants. You know what I mean? Like that Young Money, that's that Young Money bullshit. Like where you're like, I got North Face pants, what up bitch, switch quick grind. Man, I love those Fila's. And all that's like highly influenced from Mr. Iannucci, of course. Like I would get so influenced by Gino and Keenan, but the thing is that was good about coming up with people who were so cool was that they taught me so well that I like kind of took it on my own to like kind of like make my own style out of the style that they kind of gave me. Keenan used to fucking take my shoes off my feet and relace them. He'd be like, come on, Pickle, look all fucked up. To this day, I am the way I am about like all my shit because of Gino and Keenan. Like, but yeah, I really like this photo. I'm glad you brought this. This is cool. Like, look at that kid. Look at that fucking hair. Like, of course I did. I landed everything. No, I really did do that though. I don't know. You'd have to give me an example. I never thought I was like dressing funny. I just maybe thought like these guys are doing this, so I'll do this. And I think that's always been my thing. Like whoever's doing something some way, I'd rather do it another way or whatever. But you know, then there's also times in my life that I was just like, you know, I was just along for the ride. That has that ad of me. Yeah, with Adam McNatt in it. I always thought this was a really funny ad. I don't think Adam McNatt ever liked me, and I don't mind at all. You know, look at me, I'm just like a fucking, this is a picture of the 17-year-old kid in Europe that's just like seeing all the things for the first time. Like look of awe on my face in this photo. I should have known to grow his hair out. Cause it's like I had long hair like all my life, and then like once like I got like, you know, once in the early 90s it was like, oh, I gotta keep it, you know, tight crop like everybody else, like trying to be all like fucking hip hop or whatever. This kid's stoned and paranoid.
So what did you think of Adam McNatt?
I mean, I don't know, you know, I don't know. They said rules. Look at that, it's amazing. What up, ba 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 ba. Menace was totally sick. We got to go on tour with them. I'm just gonna say this right now, it's probably the most anyone's ever moved at once for one of these interviews. It's just fucking choo choo choo. We did a Menace 101 tour, 96. That was epic. But I gotta tell you, the last thing I remember was I remember getting dropped off in front of Supreme in a van to stay in New York, because that was the end of the tour. And Clyde closed the sliding door on my head. He didn't mean to, but I was getting out the door, he was shutting at the same time. And it was just one of those, like, I was grabbing and then wham. So, not that it knocked me out, but I kind of I don't know, I did something. Oh wow. Jay Maldonado, I still see him all the time. What up, Jay? This was the sickest, that Big Brother did the warning with a gun coming out of the magazine of the kid. That is so fucking rad. 101 ad. I loved how Nodis, like, this is another thing, like a lot, like, you know, just from like being around someone like Nodis and him laying out the ads that I got to see, like he, you know, wrote on the pictures and did all this shit before scanning it, you know, whatnot. And just how he laid it out, like, you know, I remember thinking I looked ugly in this ad and being like, man, you're young, you're all insecure in a magazine. Because he like cropped my head weird, but it's sick. He like photocopied one, the other one goes the other way, like it's paint and it's like duct tape and shit. Switchback tail at Beneficial. Landed on, didn't right away. Gino went back a few nights later and took care of that for me. And then Guy took care of it for both of us with the switchback tail shove it. Guy Mariano switchback tail shove it at Beneficials might be one of the greatest tricks of all time ever filmed. It honestly, it's like he catches it. It looks so, that trick's amazing. I'm glad Gino went and did it, because like Gino's is so good. In the video I probably wouldn't have done as good. Oh, it was back to switch. Because you kind of like over the top corner that spot. You know, unless you're Thiago Lamas later, 29 years later in the year 2017, you're just fucking switch big spin, switch back nose blunting to flip out or whatever he did there. Switch back side big spin, switch back to nose blunt, and he flipped out, right? I'm pretty sure that's what he did there. I think he went the other way and he fucking big spin flip, nose blunt slid up it and then gapped it. Everybody does Tony Hawk Pro Skater shit now. It's out of hand. I will say one side note. That's my old junior high.
The Huntington Beach one?
Yeah, that's where Jason does the stand-up nose grind in video days. But I'm going across the back over the gap. And the kickback tail. Yeah. Oh, thanks. I've always wanted one of these. What is it? Oh, wow. There's a really great photo. There's a really great photo. Oh, this is yours, huh? Excuse me. There's a really great photo of Keenan that Ari shot. That's up in the Supreme store in Tokyo, wearing this shirt. This is a 101 shirt from actually this is a graphic I wish I could see again. This was the cover of a New Yorker magazine. It was all these people on stilts doing their thing, walking above the city. We ended up using only the stilts people, because I didn't want to like claim, New York, whatever. So I'm pretty sure that I made it look like an anonymous, like kind of like building, stuff like that. Whatever it was, is that I love this shirt, and I love that Keenan would wear this shirt. Because back then, like, this was all disposable for us. Like, every t-shirt you had was like, yeah, cool, phew. There was no concept of the future whatsoever, which I kind of miss that, actually. Fuck all this bullshit on us. Like, take your shit off, throw it off, fuck these shoes, fuck everything. Fuck the modern world. Everybody's so precious about all their fucking bullshit. But at the same time, I am sitting here holding this shirt with my goddamn name on it from 1996. But yeah, it's a good shirt. That's a cool one. Dude, that thing is so summer tour. Okay, all this makes me think of is like this thing wadded up in some corner of like a fucking Motel 6 in Tennessee on a summer tour. There was a period in my life I was on tour forever. There ain't no Mountain Dew shit, kids. Like where you see these guys and they're like in jets and shit and they're in fucking some nice hotels. Fuck that. We'd be in a Motel 6 in Tennessee. And it'd be me, Gino, Marcus, LeVar, all of us, whoever like was on the tour. And all I think of is like this thing probably smelling like mildew, wadded up in a corner, being like, trying to get up to leave, getting kicked out of the motel, being like, I'm not fucking taking that. But then maybe going back and being like, I'll wash it and I'll sell it to a kid at the next demo for $5. You sold all your product. You sold all your product. That's what we did. We sold it all. We sold all we would use our product, but we made a nice amount of money selling product. I thought that you would bring this up in the name part. I thought you would do it. No, in the name part when you do the names. But Josh Kalis, Photosynthesis board. I love the color scheme of the Photosynthesis boards. I love what they did, cover, everything. Really good, really original. Shirt came out great. Yeah, fantastic. Josh Kalis, great 360 flip.
Flow so properly, you'll see I'm woke. Ain't no stopping me, I'm deep like whoa.
I can't remember, but it was nice to see him. We talked about shit. Everything Josh has put out is rock solid skateboarding. He always did it at the top of the game. He really led the way for like winning, I believe, in that. As far as his level, I think they saw that and were like, God damn. All those dudes, all those dudes I feel like were influenced by one way or another as far as like work ethic and just all around just being a sheer fucking skate. Wake up, skate. Go to bed, skate. Everything's skate. Oh, God. Wow. How did anyone ever skate in these, Bill? Do me a favor. Call me when you get to the future. What the fuck? What do you do, put your weed in there? So I didn't design this thing. Nodis made this with the people at Vita. Vita was a weird little shoe company that I rode for only a couple years. What was it, Bill, like 98, 99? Yep. Yeah, it was like, one of those things like, okay, you can ride it for DC. Nah, fuck it. I don't want to get paid all that money. I'm gonna do this weird shoe company with Nodis and them. I think if I would have got that DC money, I'd have died. Vita gave me enough money just to be first hooked on drugs. Not to go over the top. No one at 21 should get like a lot of money. There's like a lot of shit in Photosynthesis filmed in these shoes, and I do not understand for the life of me how I ever did anything in these. I think the kickflip on the goddamn bank that Bill filmed is in these. The red and gray and black ones, right? No way! It's so heavy. I'm wearing aesthetics pants. I believe I have like a fucking, it's like an APC shirt on or something fancy. I remember like still being friends with Sal, after 23. And He probably was like, you gotta try these sick ass pants I made. Dill, you'll love these pants. They're all fucking like North Face pants. He made some like track pants, and I thought they were super sick. And they're like, you know what they were? They looked like khakis, but they're track pants. That's what they were. Yeah. Good pants, Al. It's one pair of Etonics that were white, yellow, gray, and black, and they were so great. And the only clip I have in them is in black and white, and it's in Eastern Exposure, the Nolly Fronts 180 Fakey 50 down that rail at the demo in Philly, and I'm wearing those in that. I can't explain it. I've never seen him again. I loved him. Pete Sampras, Nike, great skate shoe. Blue sole, gray, white, those were sick. For God's sakes, I skated in the Air Max 95s. I got a trick in the Transworld video on Bo Jackson's that are just as easy to skate in as these actually. They were kind of thick, but I still loved them. But when it really comes down to it, no bullshit, like Vans have always been the go-to for me as far as like, ooh, the line in Trilogy is Nike Bruins, but the low way they used to do it way back in the old days, they were white with the all gum sole. I never seen those again made like that. Like they were like collector shit, whereas that line around between the upper and the sole, those were great. But yeah, like to this day, I skate in Vans Authentics, just the super, super plain ones. No, I don't understand how we skated in all this crazy shit. No, I know. Lurker Lou had this in gray recently, I heard he skated in them and the sole fell off. Shoes are garbage. So this shoe is from a company called DVS that I worked with. I had seen this women's Prada shoe that like had this like these pads. Stitching would go in, it would lift up and come back in. Yeah, I took him that women's Prada shoe and I was like, I want to make something like this. And so we took it off the sole and stuff and everything, and like they really let me do my thing with this, and I designed this thing with them from the ground up. Show a picture of this in gray if you can find a good one, because it's so much better than this. Like this looks sick, but like, I mean, I knew it would be wide, but you know, back then I was trying to get everyone to thin down everything. I mean, believe it or not, how this looks, like there was versions bigger, and I would try to get them like, come on, you gotta go thinner. To this day, I still can't get people to go thin enough on the shoes when I make them. Like even when I do stuff at Vans sometimes, when I make like FA shoes and shit, they won't do it thin enough. Yeah, we filmed Mosaic in these shoes. The gray one of this is my favorite skate shoe I've ever had, for sure. It's not for the modern day. You showed up in that thing in 2002, 3. People were like, what the fuck crazy shit you got on your feet? Like those things are fucking, that's new. First time I ever saw Nike Air Max 95s, red, gray, and black. Harold Hunter had them on. And they looked like they were from the fucking future. I was like, Jesus, what are those? I thought they were gonna light up. Like honestly, they were the greatest shoes. I don't know. I don't think any of my shoes have ever done well. I never made dough off shoes, really. I missed that whole, you know, a lot of people kind of got wealthy off shoes, you know. People got wealthy off shoe sponsors. Not me, I fucked up my whole career. I designed them off a fucking women's Prada shoe. What the fuck was I thinking? I was on drugs. Yeah, I'm quite excitable. I mean, to this day, if Neil Blender was standing right here, I'd have a hard time, like, standing here too. I don't know him, so it's like, you know, that's fucking Neil Blender. There's certain people that like I just found out that there's a restaurant here in New York, like I've been eating there for 20 fucking years now. It's called Lucky Strike. I found out the other day, they're like, you know Ken Burns is in here all the time. I was like, you gotta be shitting me, Ken Burns is in here all the time, you never told me that. If I walked in and there was Ken Burns right there, I'd just be like, dude. And then one time we ate there, and who was sitting next to us? Aaron fucking Neville. Dude, his outfit was so leather, it smelt like bovine leather.
I don't know much, but I know I love you.
But if it's the right skateboarder, like certain people, of course, I've been like, hey, fucker, I seen your shit. Like, you're sick. Like, I'm blown away. You do what you do. Like, if I see there's a kid that's doing his thing, and I'm like, well, hey, look, you're doing your thing. Like, I'll make sure, you know, like, hey, I'm a fan. I like what you're doing. Everyone's fucking beating roof and throwing themselves at so much psycho shit nowadays. It's hard to keep up. Fucking who's on the cover of fucking Thrasher this month? Fucking Johnny Tuesday doing a fucking quadruple flip fucking 900 down some big gaps and blunt slide. I've been freaking out the whole time I've been doing this. Well, you know, I make FA, and so now it's like, wake up, guess what? No, I'm scared every day. But we're 5 years in now, so it's a bit smoother. I don't know, there's always lots going on. I mean, we live in current day America. Are you kidding me? Like, what's happening right now? Bobshirt's the meaning of the World Industries t-shirts that used to fit like that. They were this high and that wide, and they were always so craziest colors, and the reason for that was because they were the cheapest shirts possible. When you think of Rocco and all that shit, you think, oh, it's so much money, but in the beginning, I don't think there was a lot all there for like, back then, it was like, feels like cardboard, it's burnt orange, and it looks like shit. Put the fucking one-on-one graphic on it, it's sold. All right. Clint Eastwood, never heard of him. Jed Walters is easily the best skateboarder of his time. Jed Walters easily advanced skateboarding in many different ways by being around all those dudes like Shiloh and whatnot, because to me, Jed and Shiloh were above and beyond. You look back at their footage, the kid was doing everything before everybody. Jed Walters, wherever you are, I know it. You did it, and I appreciate it. Gershon, God bless you. How you doing? I don't know. I never knew Gershon well, but he always seemed like a nice guy. LeVar, how you doing, LeVar? Super hard worker. Like, no shit. Like, when we were children, he was like, I'm gonna go here, do this, I'm gonna go here, do that, and he would. You couldn't skate with LeVar without being really jealous. And anyone else who says anything else is a lie. Because you'd just be like, okay, wow, you got gold teeth and you just did everything today. Sometimes LeVar would show up with perfect outfits too, where he'd be like, all right, it all looks, wow, he did it today. He's really, and when he grew the hair out, it was like, woo. Yeah, him and Marcus I spent a lot of time with them. I really, really loved both of those guys. All right, hit me with another. Mike Carroll might be the greatest skateboarder of all time. I don't know much about him, but he's really smart. I remember he's a real smart kid. Fuck it. Worst dude. Drake was smooth operator. Smooth operator. Drake did some really pretty skateboarding. Fucking Renaud. Sal, awesome. Love Sal. Rob did some good shit on a skateboard. Fucking best. Fucking Ricky rules. Love Ricky. Such a fucking funny dude to be around, like Europe, wherever. I was so small watching him, watching all the Eastern exposure. Fuck yeah, Ricky. Such a militant, like epic human. Gotta love Ricky. Never heard of it. I know that guy. Who? You've reached bobshirt.com. Leave us a message at the beep and we'll call you back. Well, I mean, good thing it happened, because I wouldn't be here standing to you talking if this didn't happen. Photosynthesis, filmed between 1998 and the year 2000. Time of my life. Best time period. Great. Loved it. I had so much fun doing this and making this. Didn't feel like a video part. It was just me and Bill on the street. Hey, Bill, come on over. What are your thoughts?
Things moved so rapid back then. Plus, I was so green then. I wasn't used to coming to New York at all. And I was coming up, hanging out with him, but he would go out at night and I would just stay in his apartment when he went out, and then he would come back.
6 in the morning.
Like fucking, this dude, I'd be sitting there like, I don't even know if there was a Mac. It wasn't a Mac. Was it a PC?
I didn't have, what, Mikey had?
Yeah, in the living room.
My roommate had a computer. My roommate and Simon are the first people I ever met that had the email.
Yeah.
I didn't know what email was. This guy had a fucking mini disc player. I'm talking about mini disc players. We were listening to mini disc players, you know what I mean? Like, Bill would come up and stay with us on Canal Street. That was like a couple years of like a filming straight. Meeting Bill beyond like when we were like little kids at Newburgh, a trip to Philly.
Yep.
It was probably a trip to Philly,
what it was.
and it was like Kalis and like whoever. And Bill had already been in the mix, kind of at the very beginning of him like having stuff kind of come out. Did anything come out yet that you filmed?
I had some stuff in Transmission 7.
There you go. But this is the very beginning of all of it.
I mean, right from then, I was already starting to work with Josh. And then he came down to Philly. I remember trying to film a line with you at that night. You were trying to like backside nose blunt the little ledges at Love.
Really?
Yeah. Or maybe switch. can't remember, but I remember.
Probably not.
Yeah, but you're the type of dude to throw in a switch one out of nowhere and then slide and you're like, holy
Oh
shit.
yeah, I love that. That's my whole career.
Yeah,
watch this.
yeah,
I'm never gonna come anywhere near it, but watch. I remember at first like kind of relying on G, almost like not like we were relying, but like G would drive him up from Philly. There's a couple times I remember like being on ecstasy and like being on drugs and like being like, oh my God, these guys are coming today, shit.
These guys are
and
at my
like,
house.
and then like, oh no, they're here, and like a fucking the Nokia brick. Boop, 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 boop. Like Ray's like,
like, hey, we're
out front. I'm like, I haven't slept. I'm on drugs. Shit. And then I went and did the kickflip.
Yep. Did the kickflip down at the bank.
The thing that was up
I
all
was
night.
Fucking blown away.
Up all night on drugs for
I was
sure.
Real happy with how that came out. He went in and did it, and I was just outside. There was a fence there, and I filmed it like through the fence, and I remember just being so hyped on that clip.
For that time period, like you gotta understand, this is the early 2000s. This is right after Trainspotting. It's right after the movie Trainspotting, and it's like that time period of like clubs and this New York and like the Verve and like all that fucking weird music and all that shit. And I was meeting all these crazy people
Yeah,
and like,
you're meeting
so
a
like,
lot of people that didn't skate. I feel like it influenced it.
Yeah, and like it was almost like being up all night on drugs would be the thing that me and Bill are on the street, and I'm like, you stay here, I'll jump over the fence and I'll go try that. And then I could just geek out while like, you know.
I
like,
also felt like it was like, oh, let me get this over with so I can go and hang out with who I was hanging out with.
Totally.
You know what I'm saying? Because it was like, I feel like it made him want to do it. Like, I just want to get it over with so I can go and join the party again because that's fucking fun.
I'm talking about in particular nights where I'd be up all night long and it would be the next day, and anyone who's done that knows what it feels like when you're still up and like how you still can function. You really only do that in that window. Ave knows about this. Anyone who's done that and partied like that and skated on a high level, it's an interesting dichotomy of the, you know, it's like what made this happen and has an effect on this, and then you're in the streets, I'm wearing a funny outfit, and you're fucking chasing me down the street, fucking trying to fill the time, you know?
Just young.
You know what line that I saw recently that I think is funny that's not in the photosynthesis part, even though I love the photosynthesis part, is it's the nollie flip in slow motion from that, and that kid filmed it.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Jim Hodgins.
Jim. So I don't remember that day at all. Like that's a blur. Pockets of photosynthesis, I can't remember anything. I don't know if it's just getting older, but I do not remember filming with him. You could have told me right now, I filmed that with you, and I've been like, yeah, totally. Like totally, like easily. But listen to this.
Okay.
There's a whole line. Do you know that? I go up on the thing, and then I do a nollie flip. I fucking ollie up the curb in that little street gap and put up a fucking thing.
Yeah.
I do a big ass I can't. I didn't know I could kickflip, but I didn't know I could kickflip that high back then. Like that's some Kayla shit to kickflip that high. They didn't use it. And I thought, but that part's so fucking long, like. That's the favorite thing that, like, of just life and time that we had. That time period was so fun. Like, it was New York before 9/11 and all that shit. And, like, it was just such less, like, it's the age we were, and it was being here and not wanting to be anywhere else but here.
I remember filming for it. Everybody else felt so like militant. We're going out, we got this plan, we're gonna do it. Coming up here with
and I
him,
guess too, like we took it into our own hands.
We're doing
That's
whatever.
what it is. I guess we've never really.
Right now.
We never. And then also, and also, we've never really talked about it too much, whatever, even amongst ourselves. But like, when I skate, I have a certain like, I really take my time with some shit, and I'll really be like, let's go look at this shit. That shit's cool. And we'll go look at some weird ass shit. I will trail us off. If he's not like, hey, to rope it back in to actually do the tricks, like I'll be like, let's go in the museum. We're never up here.
Like, you know who else?
Like let's go and like just sit like that. Like yeah, like let's go into the middle of the park and get a hot dog right now. It's like it's me not wanting to skate, and then it's also like.
You know where's a good example is that? Going to Central Park that day. No,
or photo, the intros.
Yeah,
and this shit like that. Like we probably should have been skating, but we did get the intro shit for photo, but whatever.
Either that kickflip or the run down the stairs line. I feel like the impact of that clip was, I think that just was sick for you, you know what I mean? I thought that was cool. That he was thinking that outside the box. Like I know no one else in that video would have thought of doing that. And no one had seen any of his footage, so no one really knew that was gonna happen. You could tell because Strussi really worked hard on his part. Like you could tell he was probably excited just looking at the footage and being like, dude, I can make something real wild out of this.
So say you sit inside and come out with me.
This is another thing back to like how, and honestly, we never really talk about this shit that much, but if you think about it, from this in 2000 to filming for this in 2003, this is also something that we took into our own hands. It was like, we're gonna film one section, whatever we want to do, and I came up with wanting to do all lines. I went from here in New York to California, and I was staying with friends in Venice, these friends that didn't skate. I called Carter and I said, will you fly Bill out here? I'd like to film for the video. And he goes, and I quote, you just want someone to drink with. And I got so offended by that.
He didn't drink the whole time.
I got so offended by that. I cleaned up my act and I was like, God damn it, Bill, you're fucking coming out here. We're gonna fucking film every day. And we did. Bill came out and we would film every fucking day. And I would just try to get as much shit as I could. And that was so fun filming that. We put in a lot of work in that video. So we had all this footage from LA. So we had just one big part of LA. And Bill knew like I only wanted to do lines because I don't know, just watching Javante Turner do lines and Henry Sanchez when I was younger, like they would do those long lines and I loved the way that looked. Also, I knew you could fill a nice big gap of time with lines and you don't have to do like big trick. And think about it. Jamie Thomas is at the top of his shit at this time. Muska's at the top of his shit this time. Fuck is my fucking dancing ass gonna do? I'm gonna do some dancing in a big circle.
That's the way we get by. That's the way we get by. We found a new kind of dance in a magazine. Try it out, it's like nothing you ever seen. Your sweet talk like a cop, you know it. You bought a new bag of parts, so let's make a new start. And that's the way to my heart, to the way to my heart. That's the way we get by, to the way we get by. That's the way we get by, to the way we get by, to the way. That's the way we get by. That's the way we get by. We get high in backseats of cars. We put faith in our concerns. Fall in love to down on the street. We believe in the sum of ourselves. I say that's the way we get by, to the way we get by. All that's the way we get by, to the way we get by. That's the way we get by, to the way we get by, to the way. That's the way we get by. That's the way we get by.
This is also something we took into our own hands and made our own thing. And once we had all that footage in LA, then it was like, all right, now let's go to fucking Barcelona. And then we were in Barcelona for 2 fucking months. You don't understand the things and the
It was
debauchery
crazy.
and the psychoness that happen on a night by night basis. It's amazing that I have the footage I have in that video because just the things that and I did at night on the bar scenes and the other various houses of horrible offerings of Barcelona. What a time. Holy fuck, man. Wow.
It's me, him, Deerdick, and Abe in a hotel at Parallel, that spot Parallel, right there.
You look out the window, there's fucking Parallel.
Yes, dude. We were there for, I think,
2.5 months or
in a
some
hotel.
shit.
Yeah, it was all DC money, dude. I know we were there.
I wasn't on no DC money. They were on DC money.
Somehow we were there.
Ave and Deerdick were on DC money. I was on fucking workshop money. But it was a great time. Holy shit, that was so fucking fun. I can't believe my dick didn't fall off on that trip.
It was amazing. That time.
God, I was so bad back then.
But filming for this, I felt like I was like really fucking doing it. As far as like the way that I was filming then, I just really liked. I knew how to point the camera and not have to look through it at all. Like, I knew the angles, and that was like.
But then you know what's funny? You know what's funny in all the technicality of like what we've, you know, so many years have gone by now since Photosynthesis. Photo came out in 2000. 17 years later, we're talking about this. I never thought about that. I never thought about the way you filmed when I first filmed with you to the way you started to film, say, in Mosaic. I always trusted the way Bill filmed. You know what I mean? That's a really big deal to me. I was always really particular about who I would film with anyways. Taking photos was like filming when we were young because it was a really big deal to take a photo for Thrasher when you're like 13, 14. And like they would, you know, have certain photographers that would be like, these are the guys you shoot with. But then you get older and you kind of like pick and choose. And fucking 20 goddamn years later, I fucking pulled this guy in on every goddamn project we've ever fucking been on together. I'm gonna be 50 years old and be like, you know what, Dill? Guess what? We're making Cherry 5. Oh, you know, when you get comfortable with someone and you get comfortable filming with someone, especially someone like myself, you know, like I have a, you know, certain personality and it's not for everyone.
I mean, filming for DVS too. This dude, we would go out, it'd be winter time. We'd go out and I would just put my headphones on while I was filming. So I'd be like sitting there filming him, listening to music, not even thinking about anything. And he would just be like, he'd be like screaming, but it'd be just him really because I wasn't paying attention to him. I'd be just like listening to something. We had our own, like,
it's really
we had our
funny,
work
but like
ethic.
being so comfortable with someone that like, Bill would be listening to music, filming, honestly, I would forget he was there. Because I'd be so in my zone of inner freak out. I remember hearing this about Daywan. I would talk to Socrates and I'd say, how come Daywan's not around? And he goes, I filmed Daywan by myself and him by himself. And I was like, whatever. Then here I am with Bill later and I totally understood that relationship of like, I don't want no one around. Because I don't want A, people to see me try a trick for 3 fucking hours and freak out. B, I can totally spend 24 hours a day with this person. It's a combination of those two things that you have, and then you can, you know, like take that much time it takes to make the things that we've made together, and it's interesting. Like, of course, there's plenty of times we go skate with everybody. Of course, there's plenty of times of that, but there was a lot of just me and him. Every day.
Talk all the time.
Bill helps so much with FA and shit. There's so much going on with our worlds with Supreme and FA, and like we always got something to talk about every day. God damn it.
God damn it, what's he got next?
Hey, living just enough for today. What?
Did you hear that? Because you think Stevie Wonder ever saw this?
Oh wow, that's a good one. That's so funny. Stevie Wonder board. This is a board brought to you by the manufacturers of fucking awesome. Long time ago, Anthony went to Tijuana and he returned with a velvet painting of Stevie Wonder. When I saw that painting, I thought in my head, I want that, and I want that immediately. But I would never ask him for it because I don't want other people's shit. There's something about me. But he had that painting, and Stevie Wonder's like Jesus Christ to me. Anthony knew I loved it. Only about 5-6 years ago, Anthony showed up at my house with a beautiful big rug that he really thought would tie the room together, and this painting. I was so touched by it. Like, it was a really big deal. He knows how big of a deal it was to me, and so one day I was like, fuck it. I don't care if I got this tattooed on me. I'm gonna make this my board. So yeah, oh, not that side, this side. So, both of them. By the way, doing this interview, guys, it's been freezing this whole time, so I'm moving around, shaking and shit. Sorry, it's cold. What FA is now is, I never imagined it would be what it is now. It's almost like an uncontrollable orb, you know? It's like, it's something like I'm putting it out there, we're putting it out there, but at the same time, it's like, it has like a life of its own, you know? It's interesting.
It's big, but it feels small, you know what I'm saying? It's like hard to do that nowadays because everything's so accessible. How many years is it? 4?
5.
5 years.
5 years now. Going into it, it wasn't like, this is exactly what we're doing and da-da-da-da, but it was like, if this doesn't work, I'm fucked. But luckily, like, I had such good kids on board with me and Bill. I saw where the skateboard companies were becoming less and less someone's identity. And if the skateboard companies are not a pro's identity, then you can kiss good skateboarding with character in it out. If you're known for being pro, like, who are you pro for? Nike. Who are you pro for? Adidas. Nothing taken away from the shoe companies, but it doesn't work the same way. The board company needs to be your identification. I mean, still to this day, Tony Hawk's gonna be like Birdhouse, because that's his shit. I saw that slipping away. Association with the board company and who the pro is, his identity, his home base. I knew that, he knew especially, that if I did do this and I did it in my way, and I did it through my filter and my lens, that I could too have a thing with a group of kids that would be the next thing, which they now are, which I'm so surprised. He's always fucking pushing me. This guy's been pushing my buttons. No, but
we've had long talks and
Yeah.
arguments and
Yes,
everything. So
yes,
that's
yes.
just part of
All
it.
over the place.
That's what's fun about it.
with most of everything Bill pushes me to do, it's always something that at the time I might be like, I can't do it, I'm scared. It's always like a couple of years in, I'm always like, thanks for fucking making me do that, because now we're here. And then we get to another point, and then he'd start pushing me on something else, and then I'd do that, reluctantly maybe. And then 2 years after doing that, I'd be like, thanks again for pushing me to do the thing, because I thought I was scared, like, there's been a lot of that.
That line at the end of Cherry, backside heel flip, switch, backside heel flip. When I got that, I was staying at his house out in LA, and when I brought that home and I showed him, I felt like we really knew, like, all right, like, there's a video really happening now.
Yeah.
I remember Costin being there that day. He was the only other dude there besides Atiba and Kyle Demers.
Yeah, I wasn't there that day.
Costin was like, is that going in the video? And I was like, yeah, dude, we're working
At Dylan's
on a real
line.
video. This
He's
isn't
like,
just
is that
for
going
fun."
in there?
Like,
But I love that Eric said that in a way like, you want me to be in that video? Like,
he was like,
because that's how it
like,
was.
I
you know?
felt like everyone felt like, oh, I'll just get something. It's going to be an easy video. And I was like, no, dude, I want to make something that's going to be great. And Dylan kind of, you could tell he really wanted to do it. And he battled that line a few different days, but he got it that day. And I remember coming home and showing him that. And he's like, let me see it again. I felt like in my heart that I knew that it was going to be a big video from then on.
Dylan really bumped up the kids. Sean and Sage looked up to Dylan in a certain way that, like, not only for who he was as like his character and just the soft-spoken, gentle Dylan that he is and was, but just ability-wise. And you see what Sage is doing now, and you see how high he goes and shit. I really think Dylan, like, skating with the kids in that time period, like, they were so young filming Cherry, that I just think that he had a big influence on, look at them painting their nails and shit. I used to get on him about that. I'm like, God damn it, copying Dylan, painting, do your own thing. Now I'm like, fuck, like, of course,
yeah,
like.
You can tell they were really influenced,
and that's
they
so
like
cool
that he did his own way. You can tell that they're like, they want to do it their way now, and you could just tell that this dude and Dylan really influenced a lot of those kids. Everything Dylan did was top notch. It was like he got to a point that he couldn't go low anymore.
That's one real fucking, not to get super sad here, but like that's one thing that really fucks me up that I think about is like, I love how people are like, God, they really love Dylan and shit, but like, he was just getting better. He was gonna impossible nose one side of the table. Like, it was coming, like, he was gonna impossible to the table long ways. That was coming, for sure. I don't think I'm saying too much. He was getting so much gnarlier right when he got sick.
Yeah,
that's the truth, man.
He was like going for it. And
we would have seen the heaviest shit right now, and then what? Like 27? Like he
loved
he was
skateboarding,
right.
so like
He was so good.
You'd go out with him and you would skate. Like he would skate. Like he would try it wherever we went. He would try super hard, and it was.
He didn't have. Sometimes he would land shits.
Like he's like literally trying fucking.
No, Dylan would skate for like
70 out across the table, like he was landing on it. Like shit like that.
He would skate for like 7 hours straight, but when he was doing tricks, of course Dylan would battle just like anyone else. But like he did his shit pretty goddamn quick.
Remember he was trying. Was it nose blunt? Revert out.
Yeah, I wasn't there for those
that
days.
Was fucking crazy.
But I remember being so surprised
because
he was trying to. Dylan was goofy-footed, but he would try this way to that.
Yeah.
But I remember thinking like that shouldn't be that hard for him. I mean, come on.
I saw the blunt slide kickflip again last night.
But no, the impossible over the table. Oh, the blunt slide kickflip, that's 8 feet away from the table. But the impossible over the table that day. Dylan impossible table. I did the bench in New York. Fuck the bench in New York. Impossible table. First try, whack, to his feet, 1 foot landed, shot his board away. I was like, maybe 7 later. Dude, the best. He was the best.
It's fascinating to have seen it, and it's crazy that we're not going to see it anymore. It's like a fucking gem in your life.
It's the only thing I think that can. I think it's the only thing that keep us from like even like falling to tears about it right now is the fact that we got to watch him grow from a child into a man, and like we got to like have all that time with him in different countries and just watch him do
Yeah.
his thing and be
It's-
him.
like
And
I said,
I feel like if, you know, of course, like, you know, we wouldn't be so sad if we didn't have that, but at the same time, like, I think that's why I'm able to deal with it. He loved all the shit, like going on alien tours, jumping off cliffs, all that shit. Like, we did that shit with him, and like, he loved that shit.
There's
he loved
something in your head that's like, that's
he
not
loved what
supposed
we
to
were
end right there,
into.
but why is it? Like, where is it? You know? It's
Yeah.
like, but you just, like, that's when you realize life's just what it is.
Are we done?
That was nice. Yeah, thank you.
Bye for now.
Tells me true. I want a collection too. So what's something? Edge of a line. Been listening all my life. So what's something? Someone or something. So what's something? So what's something?
Is that far away camera? You hit the red button like that, you're filming, boom, you're stoked.